Today, I am going to be covering the Ultra League tier list. This is my tier list from pre-patch. Today, I'm going to do a post-patch tier list. So now that we know the entry values and stuff, and as expected, I don't think the Ultra League one is going to move around nearly as much. If there's anything I'm missing or any question you have, let me know. But I included a few other things that I left off last time. None of them are like particularly that meta relevant, but they are technically ranked higher than some of the other things we have on this list. So I figured might as well just include it and see how it goes. Corviknight's interesting. I don't know. It feels kind of underwhelming still. Maybe that's just me. Feels a bit underwhelming. I actually think Zygarde's really strong right now because a lot of the Weezing's probably the most, Galarian Weezing's probably the most common fairy type, and because of that, a lot of them are running Brutal Swing and Sludge, which is not bad at all. And this thing's way too bulky for you to be Fairy Windy down, and you have Bulldoze for coverage. So I actually like this a lot. Lapras is okay, I guess. Surprisingly, I haven't seen a ton of Lapras, and I feel like it's a little bit harder to use than I thought it would for some reason. I'm going to keep it here for now, but I played a full day of Ultra League today, and I don't know, I wasn't super impressed by it. Grumpig also feels solid, but not nearly as strong as Lapras, because you're taking super effective damage from Feraligatr, and Feraligatr is still like kind of everywhere. Giratina, it's Giratina. It's still really strong and safe. Honestly, again, similar to Zygarde, I think with everyone running Sludge, I mean, I guess Brutal Swing's still pretty good into Giratina, but it's just kind of bulky and it's just really reliable, in my opinion. Feraligatr is also just still everywhere, and I think part of that's because the rollout nerf did hurt Licky Licky. It still feels really safe, honestly. I'm gonna put it here for now. Jellicent I've seen a lot of too. Oh, you know, that's probably a big reason why Lapras is not as common, because all the Jellicents. I do think Jellicent's actually quite strong. Corviknight, hard to say. I just haven't seen a lot of Corviknight. I did see one, and it got pretty much demolished by my Steelix, so there's that. But I think if it wasn't Steelix, maybe a different story. Annihilape also looks pretty strong still. I'm going to put it up here for now because it does beat all the other fighters for the most part. And if they're running Brutal Swing Sludge, it's not terrible against even the Weezing. Yeah, these two I'll think about it some more. Dusknoir I see almost none of. Probably because just pacing's not amazing. Weezing's like everywhere though. Let me bump up Weezing. Galarian Weezing's actually really strong. Yeah, it's really strong right now. I'll put it up here. I think it's... I'll put it actually here. Maybe even here. Let's put it here for now. It feels really strong. The thing is, it has so many moveset options, so that's where it gets quite interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Just pacing's fast. Sludge just hits way harder than I feel like it should. But yeah, Malamar I've seen like literally none of for whatever reason. Probably because of all the Weezing. Yeah, because they resist everything, so... Mandibuzz I've seen like none of as well. Virizion I actually think is pretty solid. I actually think Virizion's pretty solid. I mean, it has play into so many of these things. Not this. Not this. That's play into this. Annihilape not great. It's not terrible into this, honestly. Let's play into this. I actually think Virizion is actually quite strong. Cobalion is okay. Not as strong, but still fairly strong. Cordelia actually has been very underwhelming for my taste. Maybe that's just what I've seen. I don't know. It doesn't feel as strong as you think it should, but I think it's better than Dusknoir, honestly. Mandibuzz, I think it's better than these for sure. Malamar just feels kind of a weird place right now because there's not a lot of normal types, and you're walled off by this, and then just a lot of things that play into it. It doesn't feel as strong as I thought it would. Runerigus I've seen very little of. Probably still more common than Dusknoir though. Talonflame I think is actually pretty solid right now. I would actually put Talonflame in... I'll put an S tier for now. I'd even put Grumpig ahead of Lapras even, because I think the Grumpig has play into Jellicents, whereas the Lapras doesn't. Gastrodon, I think it's actually quite strong too. Let's put this. I'm gonna put this here. I think Jelson, or I think Gastrodon's actually very strong right now. There's a lot of Weezing everywhere. It has a lot of neutral play into so many things. Yeah, you don't want to see a Virizion, but that's about it. Registeel is fine where it is. Cresselia is kind of hard to use. Steelix, I actually think, is kind of top tier now that I think about it. I think Steelix is actually very, very strong right now. It has play into a lot of these things. Especially if Weezing's not running Overheat, you're much better into even the Weezing with Steelix than before. So I think it's actually very solid. Pangoro's okay, I guess. I've seen... why was it good? I mean, a lot of, like, this stuff, right? Resist the Psywave as well. I actually think Pangoro's not bad. I'll put it ahead of Cobalion for now. I'll put this here. Primeape? I don't know. I've never... I think it's kind of a sim hero. I don't actually think it's as good as the Seam. Guzzlord, again, kind of similar to Great League. Actually has a lot of utility, in my opinion. And Ultra League. Put this right here. It has play into so many of these things. It was a little bit hard to use myself, personally, when I was trying it. But I think it's actually very, very strong. Skeldurge with Torch Flame? What's that move called again? The new move got? The Torch Fire? Torch Song. I faced a couple of them today. It's not bad. It's really not bad. I will give it a little bit more credit, I feel like. I'm gonna put it here for now. Cobalion is like really solid though. I could easily see that being moved up too. But Torch Song, it has a lot of play and utility into a lot of these things, right? Obviously beats this. You have play into this, beats this. You have play into Talonflame, beats this, beats this. You have some play into Lapras, not amazing. I don't know. I think it's well, the thing is they could always have Disarming Voice too that you have to respect, right? Cresselia is, I feel like, not the easiest to use. I think Clefable's solid still. Clefable I'd honestly put ahead of some of these. It's just very bulky still. I'll put Clefable right here, I guess. Fortress is an interesting one because I've never seen it in Ultra League yet. I think it could be good, but I kind of have a question mark on this one. I'll put it right here for now. Shadow Drapion and Drapion in general is not bad. It's not amazing. It's not bad though. I'll put it here. And then these, I think, are probably appropriate. Oh, Golisopod. Okay, first off, apparently this is pronounced Golisopod, not Golisopod. I absolutely hate it, but I think it's actually the official pronunciation. And me personally, I just have to pronounce it the right way if I know it's pronounced a certain way. I'm not telling anyone else you have to pronounce it Golisopod, but yeah. This one is actually, in my opinion, very, very strong right now. I'd even put it potentially even in S tier. I've seen, like, this is more hard to, like, deal with than I feel like this stuff even. Lapras, honestly, I might even put it here. Lapras is not easy to use in this meta. Grumpig as well is kind of odd. It doesn't hit hard enough in Ultra League, I feel like. I'm gonna do this for now. I do think this is kind of wild for me to do, but I do think this is a solid assessment by me. Grumpig is ranked number 2, Lapras is ranked number 3, but these two don't feel like 2 and 3 picks. Based on at least what we see in the meta. Tentacruel, I do think it's fairly fringe. A lot of ghost types right now, so I think this placement is fine. Dragonite's an interesting one. I don't hate it. I think it has a little bit of play. I think it's more play than Cresselia even. I'll do this for now. Honestly, I don't even like Cresselia here. I think Cresselia's here. Typhlosion just seems pretty weak right now. Umbreon is a bit underwhelming. On top of that, Oranguru is even weirder. I think Drifloon has a little bit more play than these things. Golurk is not terrible because it has the Mud Slap damage at least to contend with some of these poison types and Weezing, but it's not great. It's just not as bad, I guess. Is a better way to phrase it. I don't know. That might be disrespectful for Tentacruel, actually. I'll put this here for now. Any of this stuff good? Not really. A lot of this stuff is very underwhelming, in my opinion. Tapu Fini might be okay in some situations. I don't know. There's sludge users everywhere. It's a problem. I do think it's maybe... It could core break some things for sure. So I'll put it here for now. Spiritomb, I think, was actually not as good as I thought it would be, but I haven't seen one yet. Oh, Blastoise definitely deserves some merit for sure. Is this an S tier pick? It's hard to say. I don't think it's bad, actually. It beats a lot of these things. Honestly, it feels better than a lot of these things. I think Blastoise is very, very strong right now. Alolan Ninetales is... I'll put it here. I really don't like how Umbreon feels right now, so I haven't really, like, I don't even think it deserves too much merit. But I could be mistaken. Layer Moltres is okay, I guess. Oranguru is, like, super hard to use. Alolan Sandslash could be good, too. Especially with Weezing being in the picture. I'll put this here. I think Moltres probably better. Licky is not terrible also. I think Miltank also deserves a lot of credit here. I think Licky is still strong, especially in Ultra League. That damage nerf is not as critical, in my opinion. I'll probably put the Miltank shortly behind it. Yeah, I don't think the rollout nerfs really hurt these two, especially in Ultra League, so that's why I feel pretty comfortable about that one. You know, Stunfisk actually could be pretty solid. I don't know why people don't really run it, but it has a lot of play into these things. Amoonguss I've literally just seen not much of. Aurorus, these things are just like very whatever, to be honest. Swampert as well, just like kind of underwhelming. These all I feel pretty good about. The amount of teams that I see that are like triple weak to Venusaur is actually kind of crazy. I don't actually think it's that good, but I think it takes some people off guard. Walrein should deserve some respect, I guess. It is quite bulky, too. I don't know if this Oranguru is actually all that. I think it could be okay, but I think there's a lot of other things that could core break a little bit better. Maybe like this. I think Greninja's much better here. Donphan, anything that has Mud Slap should have some type of respect on it. This Golurk maybe isn't actually as good as I think it is now that I think about it. I'll put it here. And I'll probably put this right here. That's a little bit more play with the typing, I think, for Golurk. This Poliwrath, I'm just going to move to bad. Belly Bolt, I lost one today, but still, like... I mean, if Spiritomb is not there, then I guess this shouldn't be that far down. Dragalge is actually probably similar to some of these dragon types. I'll probably put it maybe like right here. Bombardier is probably better than a lot of these things, actually. I'll put it here for now. Actually, no, I'll put it here. I think Bombardier's like coverage is a little bit more unique, at least. Roar's just like one of those sim heroes, I feel like. It's not bad, it's just not good. Magnezone, Zapdos, yeah, all these are just like kind of... I feel like this might be a little bit better than Zapdos, so... I'll put Regirock ahead of the Dragons for now. I can see the utility in it. I just wouldn't run it, but I can see the utility in it much more than the others. Some other electric types... I mean, Raikou ranked pretty high, but I actually don't think it's that good. Yeah, Powdon actually might not be too bad. Anything with ground coverage like this could have a decent amount of utility. So I actually will put it around here. It doesn't have the same Mud Slap pressure, but it's got solid typing. So I think anything with Mud Slap is respectable, but I do think Hippowdon actually has a lot of potential. Nidoqueen is probably better than a lot of these things, to be honest. It's just not great, but I think it's more reliable than these other things. And then Kanto Ninetales, it is ranked like decently high, but again, it doesn't really have the same coverage. So I'll put it maybe here. Alright, what should be in this hot garbage tier is a real question. I think the rest of my rankings don't change too much. Yeah, I'm going to move Mamoswine to this hot garbage category. I think this is actually just straight garbage. Registeel an A? Yeah. Do you think Registeel should be lower or higher? No, I do think it's really good. It's just that it's a little bit outclassed. But I will say it might be worth bumping it up a bit. It is still very unique in this coverage, especially like if it ends up in show 6. You think it should be lower? No, Registeel in Ultra League is a freaking beast, man. That thing is nutty bulky. I actually personally might bump it up a bit. But that's just me. I mean, I could be mistaken. I do think it's not as... It's actually kind of solid. The difference is for Great League, Registeel is not nearly as bulky, so it can't get off as many moves. But in Ultra League, different story. Also, a lot of times through Registeel and Great League, you need 2 moves to take out a lot of things, especially in neutrals, right? The same thing happens in Ultra League. So Registeel is still taking out stuff at the same rate. It's just that it takes way longer for everything else to take out Registeel. That's why it's just much better, in my opinion. I mean, if we look at the rankings, it's going to illuminate a little bit more. It's 20th overall in Ultra League, right? Whereas in Great League, the drop-off is much bigger. It's 88. Ultra League, I mean, Great League also admittedly has more viable things. So just because it's high ranked in Ultra League doesn't necessarily mean it's that much better in Ultra League. But in my opinion, I do think it's still very strong. But of course, everyone is welcome to disagree if they like. But give it a shot too if you want to test out Registeel. I think you'll be surprised at how solid it really is still, especially if all these Weezing are running Sludge and Brutal Swing. Man, it's time to lock in with that Registeel. I felt the same way with my Steelix into Weezing. Like, you don't have to worry about overheat because no one's really running it. Most people are running Brutal Swing for the potential Giratina and just like neutral damage, and then they're running Sludge. Sludge and overheat is just like a weird combination that I don't think a lot of people are going to go for. As someone who hasn't played in 2 years, seeing my level 51 Umbreon barely make B is heartbreaking. Yeah. Well, I have some good news, Sean. A lot of the things that are ranked higher than it are still fairly accessible. So if you try and get back into it and have to invest some resources. All right, this is XL for sure. These are XL. These are super not accessible. These two are pretty accessible. Shadow, not so much, but regular, pretty accessible. No, you need XL for that one. But you probably have this one maybe. This one's not super accessible. This one's accessible. Not super accessible, but most people play the community day. Not super accessible, but maybe you might have XLs. This one's very accessible, so. Oh yeah, you're right. Weezing is accessible. You're right. What are we talking about, man? This is Ultra League. In fact, what are we talking about? This is Pokemon Go. It's not the most accessible game, especially when it comes to the PvP front, but that's okay. Anyway, this is going to be my list, so thanks for tuning in. Just a quick adjustment, but for those that are curious on my thoughts after a day of GPO, let me know. Oh yeah, Greedent's actually not even on this list. Where is Greedent? It wasn't even in the top some. Dude, this guy's all the way at 187. It has gone down the drain. Yeah, that's why I don't have it on my list, because it's not nearly as relevant anymore. Obviously, some of these things are ranked lower than it, but these are because they were recently updated by the GPO updates. Otherwise, there's no shot I would have a Trampa and Wailord and Weezing and stuff on my list either. Yeah, that's going to do it for me. So, yeah, hope you have a good one. Best of luck in Ultra League. I heard the other cup is quite garbage, but I haven't tested myself yet, so maybe I'll try some Scroll Cup myself and see if the rumors are true. But until then, have a good one. Bring your Galarian Weezing counters, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.